Talmberg Castle. In a way, it doesn't seem like much. A small castle on an outcropping of rock, a garrison of troops just large enough to mostly keep things orderly in the immediate neighborhood. While the castle would fall easily to a large and determined army, it was enough to keep the villagers safe in ordinary times. But Henry isn't on the way to the castle today. He's passing through on the way to Uzhitz in search of clues to help him track down the scum responsible for the despicable attack on the stables at Neuhof. But seeing the castle thus brought him up short for a moment. Memories come flooding back. His desperate ride through smoke and screams and chaos in the not-so-distant past, the terror he felt as a detachment of humans pursued him along the country roads, doing everything they could to catch him and end his life. The agony in his leg as he collapsed in the castle courtyard, wounded by a barbed human arrow. No, enough. The past can't be undone. One young man can't fix the ills of a country in turmoil. One blacksmith's son can't absolve the sins of an entire species. But that one person could follow leads in Uzhitz and find the people responsible for the Neuhof butchery and put an end to them. And it was sunny and pleasant. Henry forced himself to smile, and he felt the dark thoughts fading away. His new horse trotted easily down the path, belying the power and stamina and courage that the steed possessed and had cost Henry so dear in order to acquire. As he reached the crossroads, a guard's voice called out to him. Well, this was unexpected, so let's go see what this is all about.
Wait! I need to talk to you! You're the young fellow who came here from Skalitz, half dead, aren't you?
Yes, that'll be me. Why?
The lady of the castle was asking after you. She wants to talk to you.
Ah, I'll go and see her then. Thank you.
Very well. Don't make her wait. May the Lord watch over you.
Lady Stephanie, okay. Well, Henry harbors a mix of thoughts when it comes to the Lady of Talmberg. Where most nobles treat peasants like dirt if they treat them at all, Stephanie had reached out to Henry more than once when they first met, showing him care and kindness, and that was welcome, but also there was a hunger there under the surface. Henry couldn't quite place it, but he could feel it. Wisely, Henry decided to take a quick detour to the Talmberg bathhouse, for once not to engage in stealthy skullduggery at night, but simply to get cleaned up. He wasn't exactly a beacon of filth at the moment, but he was finally learning how to think ahead a little bit. Meeting a shopkeeper was one thing, but meeting the lady of a fiefdom should be approached with more caution. It was best to be a little bit careful. And with that taken care of, he continued up to the castle. Following the guard's command, he didn't want to keep the lady waiting. That as bad luck would have it, he arrived just in time to find Lady Stephanie sitting with her husband, the chamberlain, and Sir Robard. Now, this made him uncertain and uncomfortable. He had no way to gauge how well he'd be received bursting in on a private meeting between the upper crust of Talmberg. He finally mustered the courage to speak to Sir Robard about an errand from Captain Bernard, but then withdrew again right away and decided it would be best to meet with Stephanie a bit later. He passed an hour or two in the courtyard and then returned upstairs to find Stephanie alone in the chapel. And for some reason, this still made him nervous, but well, he had been summoned.
The Lord save you. What do you need?
I heard you wanted to talk to me, my lady.
It's true. I need something from you.
How can I help?
My cousin, young Sophie, is going to be wed. It will be an entry into a new life, and I want everything to be perfect for her. I'm looking for a few things to give her as a gift, and you're going to find them for me.
My lady, why me?
Normally I'd let the Chamberlain take care of it, but he doesn't have any taste. I can't trust him with this. And I've been told no task is too challenging for you. Is that not true?
It will be my honor, my lady.
I need you to pick up an ornamental crown from Sasau for Sophie, wine from a merchant in Ratai, and a roan from the stable in Uzhitz.
Who am I supposed to pick up the wine from?
From Conrad Hagen in Ratai. He's the only person in the whole region who can supply a genuinely good wine. And believe me, I know what I'm talking about. Here you go. That should be enough.
And the ornamental crown?
I had the engravers in Sasau make it, but now they've written to say it will take a while longer. That just won't do. The wedding is almost upon us, and I need it. Go and see Master Jeronim Slesky and pick it up.
You said a roan from Uzhitz.
Precisely. It's a beautiful animal. Wait till you see it. Dietrich said he'd ride it here himself, but I can already imagine how he'll end up killing himself on that horse. But you, so young and vigorous.
Wine, a roan, and a crown. I can handle that.
Thank you, Henry. I just wish there were others here I could trust so well. God bless.
So it's a shopping trip then. Odd that she would be so eager to specifically seek Henry out for that, like he'd been specially trained as some medieval DHL delivery man. And there it was again. It was only a little comment. But you, so young and vigorous. Yeah, surely it meant nothing, but Henry couldn't help but wonder. But now, with a shopping list and the pressure of time hanging over him, it was time to get to work. Henry jumped up into the saddle, headed out of the castle, and paused to open his map and mark the most efficient route possible to get it all done. And the most obvious place to start was clear as soon as he consulted the map, the Cuman raider encampment to the south. Without a second glance, Henry tucked away the map, took one last look around Talmberg, and set off at a gallop toward the forest where the Cumans had set up residence. Searching the area, it didn't take long for Henry to find the marauders' camp. One of the men headed out on patrol as Henry arrived, and Henry readied his bow, took aim, and had a near spiritual experience. For the first time in his life, and possibly for the first time since the founding of Skalitz, a Bohemian peasant lad whispered under his breath, "Headshot?" He'd never known that it was possible to do that with a bow. But there were still enemies to fight and loot to be taken. Knowing full well that he'd never find that corpse again later, he wisely and quickly looted everything of value along with everything of zero value and moved on to the next opponent. Hey, Henry, is that Belladonna? No, seriously, it looks just like Belladonna. Check again. Oh, yeah, sorry, my bad. Oh, and now where's that guy who's leaning on the rock? Oh, yeah, he left while you were looking at the plants, huh? You're not really an expert at focusing, are you? Nice, another arrow hits the mark. Try for two. Two? You're almost freaking Robin Hood, except that that's in a totally different country and time, whatever. At this point, Henry's armor is actually pretty good, missing a few points here and there, but it's solid. And even so, I don't really like to fight a group of opponents if I don't have to. This is mostly because I have auto-lock enabled during fights, and I never remember either to take it off or at the very least figure out what key it is to switch targets. And also, even though my armor is good, I still remember those days not too long ago where 3 bandits in pajamas and sharp broomsticks had put me underground. And that's sort of my default panic place when I have 3 or 4 angry dudes who are chasing me. Fortunately, though, real armor is real armor, and these guys aren't getting through it. They owe me some repair kits, though. Yeah, now this guy surrenders, which he'll actually get away with. I know it's honorable to let them go, but I'm more of the school of thought that an enemy that works hard to kill me, given mercy and released, is going to be an enemy bent on revenge. I'd rather have fewer of those folks in the game, thanks.
Elég! Hagyd abba! Feladom!
With the skirmish over, Henry's training and new gear have shown their worth in this fight. Protected by good, thick armor and armed with a heavy hammer to crush his opponents, Henry is soon alone again in the forest. And then the cleanup process begins, selecting expensive items to loot for later sale and removing trophies from the cumin corpses to cash in with Sir Robard when he has an occasion to return to Talmberg. With another job well done, Henry once again consulted his map. He remembered, he needed to do something with a horse. Oh, yes, now he remembered. The stables at Uzhitz had lost a horse named Pi, and Henry had volunteered to go looking for it. Based on the information he'd gotten from the stable hand, the crossroads where Pi had last been seen was not too far north, and there was still plenty of daylight to begin the search. Oh, what luck! Back in his earlier days, having to walk there would have been a long and arduous task. But Henry's new horse was downright speedy, and he quickly reached the crossroads.
This will be the crossroads. So where did Pi go?
Cleverly deciding to check the road in each direction, he discovered fresh horse poop on the road to the east.
Still fresh.
A sign from God or Pi. Either way, the right door will lead us to where we are going, so we headed off to the east. With the sun setting and darkness looming, Henry pressed onward on foot because looking for more horse turds in the road was becoming difficult from horseback. And now it's raining. This rescue mission he'd been sent on was turning into a tedious series of setbacks, so Henry checked his map. Oh, he knows this area. He knew it had looked familiar, at least when it was light out. This is the area that he and Sir Hans had visited on their hunting trip, and their camp was just a bit further south. There he could sleep without getting wet and resume his search in the morning.
Good day to you.
Have you seen a horse running loose? A dappled grey?
I have indeed. Or at least I did see a riderless horse gallop through here. It went too fast for me to be sure of the color.
Where did you see him?
A short distance down the road there's a brook. I was there fetching water when that horse gave me the fright of my life.
And where did he run onto?
Well, he splashed about and then ran upstream into the woods.
Much obliged.
My pleasure. Good luck in your search. God be with you.
Oh, but this is encouraging news. Never mind, we'll just run down to the river now and look for Pi. It shouldn't be all that hard in the dark. Henry can really get impatient sometimes. You know what? Actually, fuck that noise, said Henry. Oh, this is stupid. We're going back to camp until morning. Impatience is a sword that cuts both ways. It encourages you to do the wrong thing even when you know better, but it also helps you to abruptly stop doing something stupid once it pisses you off enough. Well, for some reason, this wayfarer spent the entire night standing by the side of the road looking at us. Henry did check his wallet and found everything there, so I guess he had other reasons. Henry checked with the local charcoal burners, and he did confirm that Pi was indeed in the area and was being pursued by a local named Thistle. So now we have 2 creatures to look for on our search. But this time we'll go on foot. There's no sense bringing a horse through thick trees when we're looking for a horse to ride. Ah, there's Pi.
Clear off!
And apparently Thistle.
How's it going?
I'm afraid this horse is a runaway from the Uzhitz stables. You can't have it.
Fuck off! I don't care where he escaped from. Go find your own horse.
You know, for once, speech might be the right answer in this situation.
You're Thistle, aren't you?
Aye? Do I know you?
No. But as I was looking for that horse, I came across the charcoal camp, and they spoke of you.
And what did they say?
Oh, they were laughing at you. They seemed to think you were some kind of moron for leaving your stuff unguarded.
They were laughing at me? The bastards! Thanks, friend.
Anytime.
Good luck, then.
Oh, well done, Henry. A fool and his stolen horse are soon parted. Pi turned out to be easily reclaimed, and Henry set out on the road back to the Uzhitz stables. He missed his own horse, though. Pi was pleasant enough and was certainly highly regarded by the stables, but that horse seemed to be dragging an invisible stone behind it. It was so slow.
Yeah.
But before long, Henry arrived at the stables and set out to find the groom.
God be with you.
Oh, suddenly, Henry remembered that Lady Stephanie had sent him here to fetch a horse. Oh, what luck. Well, first things first, though.
Between ourselves, he was none too cheap. I don't know what I'd have done if he was gone for good. Here's something for your trouble.
Thank you. Just try not to lose him again.
We'll do our best.
I'm looking for the local groom.
Well, you found him. What can I do for you?
The Lady Stephanie of Talmberg sent me. She said you have a roan ready for her.
Well, Chamberlain Dietrich said someone would come. We have him here, but if he's ready, I can't say. That miserable horse will let you saddle him and walk him around the courtyard, but as soon as someone sits on him, he goes completely wild.
That horse is supposed to be presented at a noble woman's wedding. It probably won't be appropriate if he makes a spectacle of his rider. Is there anything I can do?
Try asking Vashek. For some reason, that devil horse listens to him. Then take the horse with you. Dietrich's arranged everything. God be with you.
I found that horse you lost.
Really?
Yes, really.
Thank for all the saints.
I was just about to start packing my things. I'll let you wed my daughter if I had one. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Just take more care next time.
I will.
I heard you have a way with the horse that unsaddles everyone else.
Yes. I suppose I do.
And how do you do it? How do you calm him down?
I'm good to him.
Listen, Vashek. I've been entrusted by the Lady of Talmberg. I need you to help me understand how to calm down that roan.
Lady Stephanie?
Then you know her.
She's a good person. She even talked to me once.
I know her too, and she was nice to me as well. Will you help me with the roan?
You have to... sing him his favorite song.
And which one would that be?
Two horses come roaming in the merry month of May, to graze in the shade of the apple tree there. The first one is brown, and the second is grey. Which shall I ride to my maiden so fair?
That's, interesting.
I know how it looks, but he likes it.
Thank you, Vashek. Want me to sing? You're definitely the first horse I've ever serenaded.
Two horses come roaming in the merry month of May, to graze in the shade of the apple tree there.
Sure enough, Vashek's trick works like a charm, and Henry was soon on his way back to Talmberg with the first of his 3 important tasks complete. He was looking forward to telling Lady Stephanie the Very Nice, and relieved that he hadn't wasted too much time on the other tasks that had interrupted him.
Stephanie, thank you, Henry.
Henry found Stephanie in the chapel again, and this time she wasn't alone. Henry decided to chance it.
The Lord be praised. What's on your mind?
I've brought the roan, my lady.
That's wonderful. There weren't any problems with it, I hope.
Nothing too serious. He's a little wild, but I was able to handle him in the end.
Well, that won't do. Sophie can't have some wild horse at her wedding starting a stampede.
But I've learnt a trick. If you sing to him, he calms down.
You sang to a horse?
It's quite true, I'm afraid. I sang to a horse.
Well, then you'll have to sing something to me, too.
My lady, I don't know if I...
So I know how to calm down that roan. Go ahead, sing.
Two horses come roaming in the merry month of May, to graze in the shade of the apple tree there. The first one is brown and the second is grey. Which shall I ride to my maiden so fair?
Oh, how beautiful. I'm not surprised the horse calmed down after hearing such a lovely voice. Anyway, I'll think about what to do with the roan. But thank you, Henry.
Good luck, then.
Now, everything neatly done. Oddly, Divish didn't react to his presence. Perhaps he was too engrossed in his prayers. Henry trotted outside the castle gates in order to summon his high-octane racehorse. The teleporter system over Bohemia in the Middle Ages wasn't able to penetrate thick castle walls, so he needed to be in a clear area to effect the transfer. And naturally, he'd forgotten to deliver the Cumin trophies to Sir Robart, so he returned the castle to complete that as well.
Some folk were ambushed by the Talberg Creek on the way towards Uzhitz. I reckon it'd be worth a look there.
Now, as much as Henry wanted to dash off and take care of that next group of Cumans, he knew that this time he really needed to focus on Lady Henry?
Yeah.
Henry, seriously, bro. Come on, man, you gotta get this done. Oh, methylphenidate be praised. Good. Please, let's go to Sasau.
God save you, good knight. What can I do for you?
The Lady of Talmberg sent me. She wants me to find out why the crown's been delayed.
Through no fault of ours, I can tell you that. We had a large stone ordered for mounting on the crown, a beautiful Moldavite from South Bohemia that we had cut and polished in Prague. But, well, in short, the good merchant, Martin Wiesek, who was supposed to bring it from Prague, got lost along the way. It's like the ground swallowed him up.
Well, Lady Stephanie won't be happy.
Look, we've got something else here we can replace the stone with, but I'm sure even you can see it's not worthy of a noble wedding, and definitely not worthy of our fine craftsmanship. Oh, if I only had someone who'd try to find the Moldavite.
Why don't you just ask me? Of course I'll try to find the stone. Just tell me where the fellow was seen last.
That fellow, as you call him, the esteemed merchant, Martin Wiesek, was last seen riding alongside the Sasau River, passing by the footbridge over the ford, to the west of here. Evidently, he never made it to Sasau town.
Well, I'll look for him, but he could be far over the mountains by now. Or under the ground.
Farewell.
It's never easy, I suppose. Still, the last merchant sighting was none too far from town. We can ride there in a jiffy. Oh, hey, check out this jump. Hey, check out how easily the horse goes through this gate in the wall right next to it. Yeah. Okay, now, straight there, and we... Oh, dear.
Goodman, I'd like to challenge you to a duel, sir. A little amicable combat.
Why not?
I'm glad to hear it. Let's get to it, then.
Okay, so Henry wants to fight a knight. Well, why not?
Here, the reward you've earned.
There, that didn't take too long. Now, let's get to the bandit camp. Henry, I don't know if you really need stealth.
What's going on there?
There you go.
Who's there? Hey.
There we
Get
go.
over here! Hey! All of you, gather here! Raise the alarm!
You know, we could just let him go since we're here for the Moldavite and not, strictly speaking, the bandits. But, no, well, you do you, Henry. Yes, at least we can take the horse back.
Yeah.
And there we have it. Moldavite recovered for Jerome, and still plenty of time to bring it right back to him so he can stick it in the tiara and we can race back to Talmberg with it. I swear there will be no interruptions to fight more knights. unless there happen to be knights along the way that need fighting. No, a wayfarer, not a knight. Off we go.
Yeah.
About that Moldavite we discussed.
Yes. Do you have some news?
Yes. The good news is I found Vizek.
That sounds like cause for rejoicing, but how come he isn't with you?
That's the bad news. He didn't survive.
Merciful God. He was a good and highly respected man. I will pray for his soul. Anyway, let me see the stone, if you would be so kind.
Of course. Here it is.
Excellent. It looks undamaged. I'll get straight to work. You can come for the finished crown tomorrow evening. Take care
What?
now.
We have to wait until tomorrow night? Holy cow, I don't want to just sit around Sasau and wait for a whole day. But fortunately, Henry remembered that tomorrow would bring the weekly tournament again in Rattay. This would provide an excellent diversion while he waited for the crown, with just enough time to return to Sasau afterwards. And of course, he hadn't completely forgotten that he needed to pick up wine for Lady Stephanie and Rattay. It was full night when Henry finally arrived back at the Rattay mill. Too tired for conversation, he simply went to bed. A good night's sleep would surely help in the tournament as well. True to his word, Henry awakened in good time to enroll in the tournament and headed straight to the arena. It only took a moment to add his name to the list, and accidentally and happily they had a fight just waiting for him immediately. The first round gave him confidence and he settled into a routine, refusing to be baited off guard, very often anyway, and jumping at chances for extra strikes. Henry steadily progressed through the ranks. And then, in what seemed like a matter of minutes, the final opponent stood confused and disappointed in the center of the arena, caught off guard and rendered helpless by a masterful jab. Henry was, frankly, shocked at how well it had gone, but he was more than happy to receive his prize from Sir Hanush, another armor upgrade. Yeah. Oh, but there's no time to dwell on the victory. The clock is ticking and Henry needs to get that wine. Off to see Conrad.
God be with you.
Lady Stephanie of Talmberg sent me to...
And what would she like? Fine clothes from Venice, exquisite spices from Arabia, jewels from Germany?
Wine. Good wine.
Ah. Would beer be enough?
As a gift for a noble woman's wedding? No, it definitely wouldn't.
Then that's going to be a problem. I gave the last keg of good wine away as a prize for the archery competition tomorrow.
Shit. Can I enroll in the competition?
But of course. Go to the shooting range above Rattay. Good luck to you.
Archery! Henry is an absolute master with a bow, as we've recently seen, so this should be a quick and easy thing. Let's go talk to the range master and get it done.
God grant you health. How may I help you?
I've heard there's a contest happening, and that the prize is a keg of fine wine.
That's true. I bought the finest wine to be had in the province.
I'd like to take part.
Splendid. Here's some arrows for you. But you can use your own if you want. Meanwhile, I'll round up the competition. Take...
No, oh, this isn't looking good. Holy cow. Oh, this other guy's a fat cheater. Did you notice how big his arrows are? And do you see him shooting 2 at a time? We may need to resort to murder at this rate, but now let's see how it goes.
Greetings, good knight. How may I serve you?
Congratulations on your victory.
Thank you. I can't wait to drink to it.
Yes, and on the subject of drinking, I'm guessing you prefer beer to wine.
No, not really. I could drink beer in any tavern, but there's no wine as good as this one.
It's just that the wine you won, I need it.
Not a chance. I won it fairly.
You don't want to disappoint Lady Stephanie of Talmberg and her courier, do you?
Lady Stephanie, you say? I've always liked her ladyship. You know what, then? Take the keg. And please give her my respectful greetings. See you later.
Oh, it seems that the Lady Stephanie fan club is everywhere. I confess I'm a bit cynical about how that works, but I don't know, maybe she became popular the same way that YouTube creators do today. You know, sneaky ways to beg for subscribers in their videos, you know, by saying something like, "Oh, hi! You're still watching this video." And I really do hope it's because you're enjoying yourself. And if you do like my work and you subscribe, you'll be more likely to find my next video. No, no, it had to be something else. That sounds like a scam. Anyway, back to Henry. Having secured the wine, he realized that it would be midnight by the time he reached Sasau, and he had no desire to ride through a dark forest only to be assaulted by a gang of Cuman raiders. So he returned to the Ratte Mill for another night and began his journey back to Sasau bright and early the next day. The rest of his journey to Sasau proved uneventful, and he arrived at Jerome's workshop without any more delays, if you don't count the brief stop to punch this escaping bandit. Or this stop to dump a bunch of loot in town. Nope. Today, his sole goal was to complete Lady Stephanie's shopping list and hopefully earn her approval.
Jesus Christ be praised.
What about the crown? Is it finished?
I'm a man of my word. Of course it's finished. Here you have it. Thank the Lord you found that Moldavite. It wouldn't be the same without it. God be with you.
Yeah, well, despite Henry's unease that the crown still might require some new surprise task to complete, Jerome had it finished and ready to deliver. With considerable relief, Henry took the crown, stowed it safely in the saddlebags of his horse, and set off immediately along the road to Talmberg, with only one brief stop to be accused of murder, only to turn the tables on the real murderer by murdering the murder guy. But other than that, no interruptions.
Welcome, Henry. I'm glad you're here.
The Lord save you. What do you need?
I brought you the crown from the master engraver.
Henry, you are a gem. Look at that Moldavite. Isn't it wonderful? Sophie will look like an angel. So, what's next?
I brought the wine.
Wonderful, wonderful. No wedding is complete without good wine. Find somewhere here to put it down. I'll send for a servant to bring it later. I hope you had no problems acquiring it.
Let's just say that when I got to the merchant, my task had only just begun.
But you were able to handle it. Thank you so much, Henry.
What can I do for you, my lady?
Nothing. You've done enough. And now I'd like to reward you.
That's not necessary, my lady. You taking the time to see me is reward enough.
Come now, Henry. No need for such modesty. I appreciate everything you've done for me, as well as your company. And there's something I'd like to give you. This shirt was my father's. He was built very much like you. Broad shoulders, strong chest. It should fit you just right.
But I can't accept this. It's too valuable.
It's too valuable to be left to the mercy of moths. It doesn't fit my husband well, and I've no one else to give it to. What's more, if you were to leave us again, I'd like you to have something to remember me by, so you don't forget me.
I could never forget you, my lady.
Well then, won't you try it on at least?
What, right now?
Why not? Don't worry, I won't look. I'll turn my back.
And what if your husband comes in?
He won't. Neither will anyone else.
All right, then.
God be with you. I feel truly blessed to have you here. So long I yearned for young company. I really feel God heard my prayers and sent you to me.
I'm ready.
My, you do look handsome. As fine as any gentleman. When I was a little girl, there were always lots of other children around and young men and women of the court. It was so merry. I always hoped it would be like that when I was grown up too. But it was not God's plan.
You and Sir Divish had no children?
No. No, alas, we were not blessed. Twice I was with child, but they did not live. And now I fear there's no hope for me.
My lady. Forgive me, my lady. I shouldn't have.
I don't mind.
In one way, Stephanie seemed merely to be setting up Henry as a dalliance. So long I yearned for young company, she said. And her touches on his shoulder, this wasn't innocence or misunderstanding. She hid her desire under the guise of being lonely. And when it was over, it was just over. There's no words, nothing more to say. She got what she wanted. And yet, the loneliness was also real. The need to be desired, to be special, to be noticed and appreciated. This is a fire that lives in us all. It's not so easy to simply snuff out that fire when one's life pushes fulfillment out of reach, yet leaves open darker doors to recover some of its light and warmth. Henry stood with conflicted thoughts, all the obvious judgments and justifications for her behavior, for his behavior as well. They roll off the tongue so easily, yet they all contain the risk of error. Humanity's march is a messy one, and often there's no right or good answers, merely that which we chose or that which we must live with. And with that, Henry sighed and headed down the stairs of the castle and set off down the road toward Uzhitz. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. I'm definitely having a good time putting all these things together and learning a lot every step of the way. Anyway, let's do this again sometime, okay? I'll make a new video. See you soon.